You know, in the tech world, your credibility can really come down to the smallest things. I mean, even one tiny little word can change how people hear your ideas.
That's so true. We're talking about prepositions. They're these small words that, when you get them right with verbs and adjectives, just make you sound instantly more fluent and professional. Let's kick things off with a classic example.
Yeah, so imagine you're in a meeting, right? And you say, the front end will depend of the API. Now, people will probably get what you mean, but it just sounds a little off, you know? A native speaker would catch it right away. But if you say, depend on the API, it sounds completely natural. It's subtle, but wow, it sends a powerful signal that you really know your stuff.
And that right there is the whole secret. These aren't just random grammar rules you have to guess at. They're fixed patterns, and we call them preposition combinations. The real trick is to stop thinking of depend and on as two separate words. You have to learn depend on as a single chunk of vocabulary. It's what fluent speakers do without even thinking, and it's a huge signal of proficiency.
Exactly. So let's make this super practical. Picture this. You're in your team's daily stand-up meeting. You need to give a really clear, confident update on what's happening and how you're feeling about the project's progress.
This is where these adjective plus preposition patterns become your absolute best friend. And what's so cool about this list is how it covers everything from your actual duties to your feelings. You've got phrases like responsible for to define your role, and then worried about or excited about to share the mood of the project. Right. So instead of some long, rambling explanation, you can just say, I'm responsible for the deployment. Boom. It's direct, it's clear, it's professional. Everyone on your team knows exactly what your job is for the sprint.
And you can even combine them to add more depth. This example is perfect. We're worried about potential data loss, but we are ready for production. This shows you're totally on top of the risks, but you're also confident in how your team has prepared. It paints a complete picture in just one sentence.
Okay, let's switch gears to another scenario. Now you're in a sprint planning meeting. It's time to talk about the specific tasks and actions you're actually going to do. For that, we use verb plus preposition patterns. Think of these as the building blocks for talking about your day-to-day work. And notice how active they feel. Work on, focus on, contribute to. They describe exactly what you're doing.
You hear this kind of thing all the time. A developer might say, this sprint, I'm working on the UI. And then, to get everyone on the same page, they might add, let's focus on performance. This is literally the language of action and teamwork in tech.
And these patterns are also absolutely critical for solving problems. When you're troubleshooting, there's a logical order to things, right? You search for an error code, then you check for updates, and finally, you look into what's really causing the problem. Each phrase is a clear, distinct step in the investigation.
Oh yeah, and we see these patterns constantly when we're dealing with systems. You connect to a database, log into an account, and download from a server. If you master these, you can clearly describe the most basic fundamental tech operations.
So, we've covered status updates and describing our work. But what about the glue that holds the whole team together? Communication. How do you use these combos to ask for help or just respond to your colleagues in a clear and professional way? Okay, these are the absolute essentials for team communication. And that difference between talk to someone and talk about something, that's a really important one. Also, you have to notice that reply and explain both need that little preposition to when you're directing the action at a person. These tiny words are crucial for making sure communication flows correctly. And here it is in action, a super simple request. Can you explain this to me? And then a clear call to action. Please reply to my email. This is what you see in Slack and emails every single day on a tech team. And getting these prepositions right just makes everything so much smoother. Okay, we've seen the right patterns for status, actions, and talking to each other. Now for something fun. Let's sharpen our skills by fixing the mistakes that we hear all the time. Ready for a rapid-fire round of the top 4 most common prepositional mistakes? Let's go.
First up, the one we started with. It's never ever depend of.
It's always depend on. The app depends on the API. Got it?
Oh, this one is a classic. The verb discuss already means to talk about, so you don't need about.
Exactly. Just say, let's discuss the issue. It's so much cleaner and more direct.
Next up, a super common one in messages. You don't reply me.
Nope, you reply to me. That little word to is essential. Please reply to my message.
And our last one is pretty similar. You can't explain me the code.
You have to explain the code to me. The preposition directs the explanation to the right person.
All right, amazing job. We've thrown a lot at you, but really, the only way to make these patterns become second nature is to start using them yourself. So let's wrap this up with a quick summary and a little challenge.
So here are the 4 big things to take away from all this. First, learn these combinations as single chunks of vocabulary. Second, use those adjective patterns for your status updates. Third, use the verb patterns when you're talking about your actions. And finally, memorize the fixes for those common mistakes we just blitzed through.
And now, here is your challenge. Can you write a quick 6-sentence project update? Try to use 2 patterns with adjectives, 2 with verbs, 1 for troubleshooting, and 1 for system access. Seriously, this is the best way to move this knowledge from the screen right into your brain.
Because at the end of the day, mastering these small patterns is a huge step forward. It really is the difference between just being understood and sounding truly professional.
Absolutely. It's a key part of speaking the language of tech with real confidence and authority. Put these into practice, and I promise you are going to notice a difference right away.